Back now, going inside the war rooms where we look behind the curtains of the campaign war rooms in the 08 race for the White House to see which strategies are working and which are not. Back with us, Rachel Maddow, Eugene Robinson, Jay Carney, and Joe Scarborough. First up, now this was not an April Fool's joke today. The Clinton campaign actually got back to advancing the Bosnia story today in a New York Times op-ed. Two staff members arguing their journey to Tuzla with the former First Lady was in fact no trip to the beach. Go to the quote board. We flew in a C-17 cargo plane, they write, because it was capable of steep descents and ascents into and out of areas of conflict. And the First Lady and Chelsea Clinton were in fact moved to the armored cockpit for the landing. Armored vehicles were placed around the tarmac and Apache helicopters hovered overhead. These facts explain why many of us were worried about sniper fire and were prepared to rush off the tarmac when we landed. Why, Jay Carney, are they getting back into this?
My gosh, I have no idea. I mean, being prepared to run off the tarmac is not quite the same as running off the tarmac. And, it reads like a piece that was, written back when this story first broke and then didn't make it to print until after the story should have been dead already. I can't imagine why they want to bring this back. I think that the Bosnia gaffe has hurt Hillary Clinton far more than she ever expected, and in fact that I expected. I knew it was bad, but it's turned out to be much worse than I thought.
Joe, the issue is why, as James Carville said, if you're explaining, you're losing. I mean, they've already suffered the damage on this. They had a chance for it to be done, and now they're talking about it some more, trying to tie it up.
Maybe they're trying to tie it up. Maybe they're trying to put the period on this entire thing. Of course, a couple of days ago, when this article was probably written, it looked a lot worse for him. The Gallup poll had him down 10 points. Of course, that poll was taken right after the Bosnia blow-up. We're going to find out tomorrow that the lead is back down to 3%. So this is a warning sign to campaigns. Don't overreact. Don't overreact to Reverend Wright. Don't overreact to Bosnia. These tracking polls are going to move because it's a very fluid electorate on the Democratic side. I think they may have overreacted.
All right, let me move on here. The focus now on focus on the family founder James Dobson as he's softening now on John McCain. In a recent interview, he said he had problems with all three candidates, but doesn't intend to sit out this election. Watch.
We have a God-given responsibility to vote. I've expressed my disagreement with all three of the leading candidates and certainly the Democrats. And I have my problems with John McCain, too, but I'm really not prepared tonight to go farther than what I've said already.
Eugene Robinson, not an endorsement there, but where are they going to go? They don't want to sit this election out, do they?
No, they don't. I think as the election gets closer, they realize they're at that peril, and if you sit it out, you start to look kind of irrelevant. They're going to go with McCain, but perhaps not, with a great deal of enthusiasm. But I don't see Focus on the Family going with Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton in this election, and I don't see them sitting on their hands.
Rachel, I actually see a lot more danger in the Democratic Party of some voters sitting out this campaign out of pique, out of anger over how this thing has gone, more than you see it on the conservative side.
I think that's right, and it may be all about the timing. It may depend on how much time the Democratic nominee has to reunify the party after the Democrats finally make their decision. But what we're seeing with James Dobson, left, right, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, everybody has the same calculus about these things. In the primary, you vote with your heart, and in the general election, you vote with your head. He voted with his heart when he made all those threatening comments during the Republican primary, but now that the Republicans have settled on someone, he of course will line up his followers behind him.
I'm sorry, go ahead, David.
You go ahead.
I was just going to say, let this be a lesson to the Democrats that are crying and saying it's the end of the world. Nobody could have been tougher on John McCain than James Dobson. Nobody is more powerful in the evangelical movement than James Dobson. He could sit this out if he wanted to. He doesn't want to. The same thing's going to happen on the Democratic side as soon as Democrats find out who's their nominees going to be in Denver.
Yeah, but on the Democratic side, if the election's only 7 weeks long, it may not make a difference. The Republicans are benefiting from it right now.
You know what? Yeah. I want to disagree with something here. I think that first of all, James Dobson's power and influence is overstated, and I think that was shown by the failure to stop McCain. And I think that if James Dobson endorses McCain in the fall, it will have a negligible effect in terms of exciting social conservatives about McCain. I mean, in the end, I think people will vote if they feel the passion to vote and for McCain. But if they have real problems with him on social conservative issues, they're not going to go.
I've just got to say, as a guy that's run in a Republican primary, there's nobody more powerful among evangelicals than James Dobson. That hasn't changed.
But why didn't he get his way in the primary?
I want to move on to something here.
I said the subset of evangelicals.
This is tailor-made right here for Joe Scarborough. Finally, Hillary Clinton with an April Fool's joke of her own. Listen.
Today, I am challenging Senator Obama to a bowl-off. It's time for his campaign to get out of the gutter and allow all of the pins to be counted. And I'm prepared to play this game all the way to the 10th frame. So, happy April Fool's Day, everybody.
Finally, Joe, a little bit of levity here to break this up.
Yeah, a little bit of levity with a sharp point. I mean, if I were running against a guy that went to Altoona, Pennsylvania, was a dainty bowler, scored a 37, yeah, I'd be making jokes about that too. I'd just keep jabbing and jabbing.
They should. No, he was dainty. I'm sorry. But
yeah, Gene, defend me here. He looked dainty.
They should have taken him to a bowling alley first and taught him the first rule. If you don't know how to bowl well, fling the thing down the lane with some authority. Fling it down the lane. Don't just kind of just put it there.
I love that this is the great masculinity challenge for Barack Obama. It's not that he's rail thin. It's not that he's not seen as being tough enough in his positions. It's that he doesn't throw the bowling ball hard enough.
You know what? He's the one that put himself in that position.
But this is a real deal.
And he scored a 37.
Jay, this is a real deal, though. This is a different kind of retail politics for Barack Obama, where these, this 3 yards in a cloud of dust could actually matter here in terms of how he's perceived. Not by all of us, but how about in some of the local coverage in Pennsylvania?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, when Michael Dukakis got in that tank and looked ridiculous back in '88, it reinforced an impression that he was soft on defense. When Barack Obama looks terrible bowling, it could reinforce the impression that he's the candidate of elites and not of working-class, regular Democrats. And I think that's a problem in Pennsylvania, and it's potentially a problem in the fall that the Republicans could exploit.
And this is the big question. If a call comes in at 3 in the morning and your bowling team is short, is Barack Obama prepared to take that call?
Stay away from him.